Hello, 7-star citizens. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I just literally hopped out of bed because we got the citizencon schedule, and now we can kind of guess what we're going to see in a week and a half's time. It's been something that we've been obviously waiting for. I leave for citizencon in 8 days. The actual event starts in like a week and a half. Now we have kind of an idea of what we might see. So let's go over the schedule and over the floor plan and predict some things that we might get to see in 2 weeks' time. Before we begin though, if you have any predictions yourself about citizencon, make sure to come check out Answer the Call, the podcast I've been doing with Salty Mike over the course of the last couple of months. It's been absolutely fantastic chatting with you all. It is a call-in podcast, so you can come and share any and all opinions. So let's get started. For those who didn't know, citizencon this year is a 2-day event. They've sort of split up a lot of the different talks. They've made it so that it's mainly one stage. There's a couple of things happening outside the stage, but in terms of panels and presentations, all on the one stage for this event. The very first thing that's going to be happening on day one, on the Saturday, is the Shaping the Verse, the Future of Star Engine. From Pixel to Persistent Universe and everything in between, join us as we showcase the power and depth of Star Engine, enabling the seamless scale that push our games to the cutting edge of industry, technology, and beyond. This one was kind of one of the ones I predicted. During the monthly report from last month, they talked a lot about how they had a lot of things that they wanted to show us from the engine team and from the R&D team about the engine soon. Well, citizencon, right? That was kind of the assumption of that was when we were going to see it. So they've probably got something pretty cool to show us here. Interestingly, I don't see anything about an opening ceremony, so I assume that they're just going to sort of say the event is open, yay, go, and here is our first talk. But certainly going to be one that you're not going to want to miss. Following up the Shape the Verse Future of Star Engine, we have the Fix It and Fly It. Want to get a look at resource management in action? Here we showcase an exciting upcoming gameplay role that shakes up the vehicle experience, continues our journey towards multi-crew gameplay, and affects all life in the verse as we know it. This is essentially going to be the engineering stuff that we saw last year during citizencon, but the way they're talking about it really makes it sound like it's going to be more of like a live demo. We had already kind of seen some of these things in engine, we just hadn't really seen how people would use it and how it would actually impact you over the course of a regular gameplay session. That is fully what I expect to be in this section. After that, we of course have the cosplay competition, and then after a lunch break, we've got probably the most hyped section of every citizencon, which is Talking Ship. This is where they announce new ships. They usually do things like the vote ship, like you vote for the refinery ship, mining ship, that sort of thing that we've had over the last couple of years. Presenting this year's newly released vehicles with a focus on how lore of the past is shaping vehicles of the future, as well as a look at the pipeline itself and the new methodologies within. Only an hour-long presentation as scheduled, so I wouldn't expect it to be that crazy. Mostly look at some new vehicles, probably concept, maybe a straight-to-flyable or one that's going to come out in the next couple of months, as they have done that in the past. This is going to be a really good presentation. They then close off day number one with Navigating the Universe. Travel with the forefront of navigation with a look at the evolution of UI features that help players view, engage, and interact with their surroundings, offering exciting new perspectives on the Star Citizen universe. UI has been changing a lot over the last couple of years, and we know they've been working on a lot of UI stuff, so I would not be surprised if this is where we're going to see Mobiglass items and interactions, where we may see the new personal thought stuff that we saw in the Squadron 42 presentation from last year. Very possibly this might be where we see the star map. Any of those sort of things, if they do show them at citizencon, it's going to be during that presentation. Day number 2, we come back and we start with the character advancement presentation. We explore the outlaw styles found on the far frontier, the new technologies enabling our next generation of character customization, and the much anticipated arrival of diverse coiffure. I don't know what that means. I'm going to look that up after I record this and put it here. Probably a lot of stuff that we've been seeing in the monthly report about more options for female characters. We're about to likely see a lot of the different character styles in Pyro, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of it. We know that they've been scanning more and more faces for their facial generation, so should be an okay one to start the day off with. But if you have to skip one, for me, it would be this one. I don't know if this is going to be the most riveting presentation, in my opinion. Following that, we get life in the first person. Get an up-close and personal look on upcoming major improvements to first-person gameplay, diversified combat AI behavior, overhauled weapon handling, and how we're shaping a more immersive, dynamic universe through seamless and tactile interactions. I've got to admit, other than, you know, the diversified combat AI behavior and the overhauled weapon handling, I don't really know what the rest of this could be. We know that they've been working on AI. They've mentioned that they want to, you know, dumb down the behaviors a little bit. The overhauled weapon handling is really interesting. They've been toying with weapons quite a lot recently with, you know, their fire rates, their damage, even their sounds. I wonder if this is a continuation of that, probably on, you know, even more weapons. The shaping a more immersive, dynamic universe through seamless and tactile interactions. I do wonder if that's about our communication and our interactions with AI, or it's just like, I don't know, this is what I am interested in. And so I'm going to probably watch this presentation online like 20 times over. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think life in the first person will be about? And then after that, before the lunch break, we get taking flight. We launch into the next iteration of Star Citizen's flight experience and explore impending improvements for every aspect of space and atmospheric traversal, combat, and interaction. This is the Master Modes talk. It's probably going to be a significantly more in-depth Master Modes talk than we got last year. I would assume that we might get to hear about how Master Modes affects things other than just light fighters, possibly even talking about things like racing, which I know in the racing community they've been very concerned with how Master Modes works at the moment. There's also been talk of things like interdiction and how that's going to play a role in Master Modes. So I feel like this is probably going to be a presentation of like, we're bringing in Master Modes, this is how it works, and this is how we envision all of the ships or like a fleet battle or whatever working within that idea, that threshold. After the lunch break, we get to living on the edge. We delve into the living conditions and environments of outlaws and settlers trying to carve out an existence beyond the safety of the UEE, megacorporations, and other confines of the 30th century society. This sounds like it is a presentation about colonial outposts. Hopefully, finished colonial outposts and maybe a little bit of lore there. A lot of people have been talking about, you know, was this CitizenCon going to be all about Pyro? Honestly, I think this is the Pyro demonstration. It's just going to be, here are the locations in Pyro, here are all the outlaws, all of their locations, all of their costumes. That's what I envision that to be. Following up on that, we get Destination Adventure. From high up in orbit, down to the surface of our planets, and deep into the underground, we delve into new interactions, missions, and gameplay, and more coming to the Star Citizen universe on all levels. Two interesting things here. One, this is probably the keynote presentation I would expect. In everything here, there's nothing really talking about, you know, a big keynote speech. I feel like this is exactly what that is. They're talking about going deep into underground. That's probably going to be where we're going to see a live demonstration of someone going into one of the new underground facilities. New interactions and missions. The missions team have been working crazy amounts over the course of the last year, so we're probably going to see something like that. This sounds like the Microtech presentation that we saw in 2019. So if anything's going to be there, it's going to be that. The second thing is that is immediately followed by the closing ceremony. You may notice over the course of this entire schedule, there has not been a single mention over Squadron 42. It has all been Star Citizen for the most part. Obviously, there'll be some combinations there, like Master Mode will be a little bit, but no objective Squadron 42 things. If we do get a Squadron 42 announcement, they at least, once again, have to show us something, please. It's going to be in the closing ceremony, or possibly even part of Destination Adventure. This is going to be the most important thing of the entire weekend. So make sure, if you're watching from home, or if you're going to the event itself, make sure you're there for the closing ceremony and Destination Adventure. It's going to be, I hope, really, really cool. Now, that's not all. That's what CRG are actually presenting in the Stanton Theater, the main location for the actual convention itself. But there's a lot more things to do. They gave us a little map of the entire location where we can see all of the places for meetups and whatnot, and some pretty interesting things. First off, obviously, I want to point out is the Fight or Flight Live, where I'm going to be commentating over the course of the entire weekend. Very, very excited to be doing that, and sort of another thing to go to, maybe in between presentations or ones that you don't really care too much. You can come hang out over there and watch some content creators be absolutely cracked at dogfighting. The JRDF Dragonfly is returning, which I believe actually got spoiled by JRDF a couple of days ago. So people will be able to get their pictures there. There's obviously a merch store. There's all your normal sort of convention locations. There's a general lounge, VIP lounge, all that stuff. But an important thing is this section in the top left that says to be announced. What is that, CIG? Why is there a random massive section in the top left that says to be announced? Let me know in the comments below what you think it might be. Also, a big shout out to all of these people who have community booths and are going to be there over the course of the weekend. It's a lot of orgs from the community, so if you did ever want to mingle with some orgs, there is your chance. Plus, there's a couple of companies like Asus, Republic of Gaming, they're going to be there as well. And if you know anything about ROG, chances are they're going to have some fun things, I would expect, to let everyone play with and whatnot. At least I'm hoping they do. And that is citizencon. That's what we're expecting in 2 weeks' time. There's a lot of hype in the community right now about citizencon, about the pyro jump points, but nothing has gotten me more hyped than literally these two pictures that they've shown, because even if the presentations are dog shit, this looks like it's going to be a really, really fun time. So if you're coming to citizencon and you see me, please say hello. If you're watching citizencon from home, make sure you have a fantastic time. This is a big deal. The first live citizencon in 4 years, my first live citizencon, a lot of people's first live citizencon. It's reasonable to be hype. See you guys in the next video.